Where else do we want to go? I mean, any other backstory aspects of maybe testing or creating this pack?
Well, in terms of testing, you mentioned something that I enjoy talking about. Like when you mentioned the shoulder straps, like when we prototype packs, it's like one of those not so pleasant but enjoyable challenges. Like for me, at least. For example, essentially, Tayson was the only one that persistently had like slight reservations about the shoulder strap curvature. So I never had any issues with the shoulder strap. I don't know about Derek if you did or not. There was maybe Tyler did with one iteration, but then like after the next iteration and the next iteration, essentially it was really only Tayson. So kind of like, let's just say within the office guys that had extensive use of the pack, it was like 1 out of the 5 people was having an issue. Well, that's an interesting challenge because you're dealing with something that works for most people already. And if you're changing something, you can't change it in a way that now makes it not work for any of those other people, but also works for the person that's having some difficulties with it. So, that's what goes into it in terms of minor tweaks. You have to make incremental changes so that you don't go too far one way or the other. But that's kind of one little bit of background on some of the testing and design is that there was a lot of effort put into making sure the shoulder straps were comfortable for everybody that was able to test it versus everybody except one. So that's really reassuring. Putting a product out there that there wasn't really any reservations between anybody that tested it. So
I just want to confirm that, Tayson. So did you ever become satisfied?
Yes. So I think that's the whole point of kind of where Brigham was taking that too, is that we were able to do these micro adjustments, iteration after iteration after iteration, to fix it so that not 4 out of 5 people were comfortable with the harness. And I'm not saying I was uncomfortable. I found it as comfortable as anyone else's backpacks. But wanting this to be a premium, top of the charts carrying pack, I'm saying I'm getting a little bit of discomfort here after X amount of miles. We were able to do these micro adjustments, iteration after iteration after iteration, to the point that it did take care of those issues for me and eliminate those. So now that we've, instead of 4 out of 5 that are comfortable with the pack, we're 5 out of 5, and that's just the people that spent extensive miles with the pack per se. But so it did solve it for me, and it was no easy task, like Brigham said, because you got to micro adjust it in a way that helps the 5th person but doesn't hurt the 4 people before it. So, and I think that's why I've got a closet full of CS40 prototypes at my house now and scattered around the office, because we do have to go through a lot of iterations. I think it's very easy for a company to say, we've built a backpack, we roughly know how to do this, we can kind of take previous artwork from this backpack and apply it to this backpack and just roll with it and cut the design process shorter. But I would say that's something we definitely did not do with this backpack. It is a full redesign. It has a different back panel. It does not have a removable back panel. There's another little sneak peek I guess I'll give for you. And so it is not using prior artwork, say of the Shadowlight, which means that we're doing a full redesign, and we're not just quickly tossing this through a design platform. In our minds, we would have wanted to release this backpack last year, but that's not how our timelines work. We don't have, say, retail stores saying, hey, we need this next year's model now on this specific date. For us, it doesn't work that way. The backpack is ready when the backpack is ready, and it's ready now. So it did take us a lot of iterations. It took a lot of fine tuning, but the finished product is really exciting. So